Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, family and friends. We are back again. And sorry I've had to cut down on my videos because I've been on the campaign trail. And yesterday there was an event in Grand Prairie. It was like a candidate meet and greet where we had candidates from lieutenant governor, senators, congresspeople, all the way down to the countywide stuff that I'm in. And it was in Grand Prairie. So for those of you to know, I wore my colors. Here's to you whose name we cherish. Blue and white, fight, fight, rough stuff, tough stuff, Grand Prairie High. Wearing my blue and white. Woo! Anyway, on to today's topic, which now ironically, I know this is not going to happen, but it would be ironic and hilarious at the same time. Okay? Venezuela is a territory, a U.S. territory now. Okay? And I say that because, or a province, it could be a U.S. territory or a province, because we run their government and control their resources. We use military to remove their dictator, and we basically are occupying them with a proxy government through threat of violence or kidnapping. Now, think about that for just a moment. We went in, military, deposed their leader, basically took over and said and our president said, we control the country now. We control their resources, which consequently, their resources, their money from oil sales is being sent to a bank in Qatar or Qatar, depending on how you want to say it, okay? For those of you that are unfamiliar with how this web ties together, Qatar is the same government that gave Trump his new Air Force One, $1 million, $100 million, whatever the car. They gave him his gold-plated jet that he could fly around in to use Air Force One as a gift that he's going to keep when he leaves office. It's also the same government that Trump has allowed to have military troops on a U.S. base. And I can't remember if it was Colorado or I can't remember exactly where that military base was. I did a video on it months ago when it happened. I should have looked it up, but I didn't. Sorry, I was too excited. So, what a web of mystery and intrigue, or as some might say, deep state swamp foreign government influence. I'm trying to use all the buzzwords, okay? All right, now that that's aside, Venezuela, I wonder if a congressperson, I don't know if I could start a petition or send that to him, like, hey, we should make Venezuela a U.S. territory now, because U.S. territories, you have U.S. citizenship by birth or heritage, which means all the Venezuelans that ICE is chasing and targeting, he'd no longer be able to touch them. Isn't that kind of ironic if that were, it requires more than just a decree, even though invading a country is supposed to require congressional support, not just the president. I'm just saying that would be ironic if somebody in Congress said, you know what, let's just make Venezuela a territory since we control it. And then you can't mess with those because now they're U.S. citizens. Now you got nothing more to complain about because they're U.S. citizens. Anyway, so that was just the funny part. I'm just going to go down a quick list for you guys. And I was thinking about this. This is all the people that Trump has screwed, okay? It's a checklist, all right? He screwed his workers and contractors, screwed them, not paying them. He screwed the farmers, the soy farmers. They can't sell their products. He screwed the ranchers. He screwed banks by filing bankruptcy. He screwed business partners, people that are on Social Security, people's health care. He screwed over all of his ex-wives by cheating on them. He screwed a porn star. And now he's screwing the oil companies because that money that's coming out of Venezuela, that's going to Qatar, it's so that the oil companies and U.S. interests cannot sue for lost profits and wages that were seized by the Venezuelan government. So he's putting it in a foreign bank account. So people in the U.S. can't sue for losses and get any of their money back. So now he's screwing those businesses, those same oil companies that voted him in. And let's not forget that he's still screwing over the victims, the Epstein victims, because he's being a pedophile protector. Anyway, I wanted to get all that off my chest. And go look it up. Virgin Islands, Guam, Puerto Rico, all territories, all people born there are U.S. citizens by birth or heritage. And wouldn't it be funny if the same thing we did with Venezuela? Anyway, thank you again for watching my video, and you guys have a good afternoon.